everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tamlyn and this is Sewn on the Tyne, and I'm here today to talk you through my most worn patterns during my pregnancy. Just before we get into that, I'm wearing the named clothing Kilowrap dress made in beautiful fabric from the new craft house, which I've added a tie shoulder hack to for nursing the baby. I'm also wearing some really cute earrings from Olive Earrings. I'll link to her website down below. So I thought I would do a top 5 rundown of the things that I've worn most during my pregnancy. At the point of filming, I'm 38 weeks pregnant. I found out I was pregnant right at the end of October 2019. And obviously as a sewist, we like to make our own clothes. I didn't want to go down the route of making too many maternity specific items that then couldn't be used post baby. I wanted to try and find garments that I'd either already made or could make that would suit me during pregnancy and after pregnancy. And 4 out of my top 5 most worn items are non-maternity specific patterns. One of them is a maternity pattern, but I actually think it's going to work absolutely fine post baby as well. Right, so let's get into it, starting with number 5. That is the Helen's Closet Yanta overalls. I made these at the start of January, so at that point I was just over 2 months pregnant. I made them for a blog post for Loubidou Fabrics, which has actually now changed its name and rebranded to The Maker's Merchant. So as part of their blogger team, I made this project. I knew I wanted a pair of dungarees sort of in the style of Lucy and Yak. If you don't know who that is, it's a company that makes loose fitting, cool, casual style dungarees. So I wanted something similar to that, but obviously had to account for the fact that I was pregnant. So what I did is I got my pattern pieces out. I had previously made the short version of the Yanta overalls. So when it came to making this project for the Loubidou Fabrics blog, I got my pattern pieces out ready to cut, and then I realised that the pattern pieces were all cut out in my pre-pregnancy size, and I didn't have time to reprint the pattern pieces. I didn't have a printer at home at the time. I didn't have access to one. I didn't have time to send off for the pattern to be printed, so I needed to figure out what I could do. So I compared the finished garment measurements with my current body measurements at the time, so at the start of January, and then I thought about the fact that I was going to obviously increase in size. So what I ended up doing was, it's a very highly technical method, putting my pattern pieces down onto the fabric, and I just added an extra centimetre around the outside of my pattern pieces, only in the waist and hip area. I didn't do it on the straps and the bib and things like that, but sort of from the waist downwards, I added an extra centimetre at each seam line. So technical, but it worked. And I actually wore my Yantas yesterday, so they've lasted me all the way through my pregnancy. And there's still a bit of room in them. Not that I'm going to grow any more, I don't think, in my last couple of weeks, but they've lasted me absolutely great. So I'm really happy with my Yanta overalls. They're so comfy, so easy to wear. I always get compliments whenever I wear them, or if I share a photo on Instagram stories or something like that. People always comment on them. So I'm really happy with them, and I would highly recommend them as a maternity make, because you don't actually need to do any adaptations other than probably going up a size. Right, coming in at number 4. It's the Mayfair dress by Nina Lee. I had made one of these prior to being pregnant, and then since being pregnant I've made another 2. It's absolutely perfect as maternity wear because you make it using stretch fabric, so jersey, viscose jersey, so it grows as your bump grows. You don't need to make any changes whatsoever. I didn't. The version that I'd already made pre-pregnancy, I continued being able to wear, and actually I preferred it once I was pregnant. I felt it suited me more. Then I made a maxi version, which was actually to wear to a funeral, and I loved that version. And then I made another maxi version but with the no sleeves, and yeah, absolutely adore that too. It's just the perfect dress. You can make it look really casual, you can make it look really dressed up. It's super comfortable. And like I said, it just grows with your bump as that grows. So it's the perfect make for pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy and post-pregnancy. When it came to making my third version, when I was a bit further along in my pregnancy, I did consider whether to raise the waist detail. So you've got a gathered bit at the front which sits sort of at the waist, and then it has ties that come round. So I did check whether I needed to raise that a little bit, and depending on your body shape you may need or want to raise that a little bit, but I compared the pattern pieces and the version I've made before to my current body shape at the time, and I didn't need to raise it up at all, so I just stuck with as the pattern intended. Right, and coming in at number 3, very similar in reasons to my garment number 4, but garment number 3 is the named Kilowrap dress. Again, it's to be made in stretch fabric, so jersey, viscose jersey, fabrics that are going to grow as your body grows. So I've made 4 kilos, 2 prior to being pregnant and 2 while being quite heavily pregnant. I made them all at exactly the same size, no changes whatsoever in terms of the sizing. I just, with my 2 most recent versions, made a shorter dress, so a knee-length dress as opposed to the maxi which I've made before. But I've worn these so much throughout my pregnancy, they just look amazing with a bump, I think anyway. And you've got the lovely detail where you can tie it at the front or tie it at the back, depending on what's most comfortable or what you think looks the best for you. The only changes I made for pregnancy with my 2 most recent versions is that I've done this tie shoulder hack, which is so that I can wear them post baby, so I can nurse and have easy access. That's the only change that I've made. I have seen that some other people that have made the kilo during pregnancy have altered the pattern ever so slightly to raise up the tie section, but I found that I didn't need to do that. So you have that option. I think it's Romana from the Little Pomegranate that did it originally on her blog. If I'm right about that, I'll link it down below. So the named Kilowrap dress is just, again, a perfect dress for pregnancy because you don't really need to make any changes to it, and it'll fit you before pregnancy, during and after. Right, coming in at number 2 of my most worn and I suppose most made garments during pregnancy is the Closet Case Ebony. Now this comes as a dress, a tunic and a top length, and I've made 5 in total while I've been pregnant. I think it was recommended to me by a couple of people because of the shape of it and the loose fitting style, and the fact that, again, it's just going to allow your bump to grow and not be too close fitting or anything like that. It's just, again, a perfect pattern and great for post baby if you intend on nursing. It's really easy to just lift up and have access to that area. So I've made 3 of the top version. One of them's actually, which way? That way. One of them is on my mannequin at the back there. I've made 3 of the top version, all in viscose jerseys, 2 of them Liberty viscose jerseys, which are incredible. And then I've made 2 of the tunic length with the raglan sleeves, 1 in a viscose Ponte Roma and 1 in a viscose jersey. And I love them all. They are just ideal. I would say I've had the most wear out of the tops as opposed to the tunics, but again, I have worn them all and they've just all been so comfortable, so lovely and light and flowy to have something just hanging over your bump, which is great. And we are finally at number 1. If you've watched my channel and my videos during my pregnancy, you probably know what I'm going to say as my number 1 most worn garment during pregnancy, but it is the Megan Nielsen Cara top. This is the only maternity specific pattern in my rundown, and it is one that I think will still work after the baby for quite some time. I think it'll work absolutely fine. So the Cara top is designed to be made in jersey fabric. It's a scoop neck t-shirt that you can have with either short sleeves, 3/4 sleeves or long sleeves, and it has like gathered side seams, so ruching up the side, which just allows for your bump to be comfortable and also to grow, and the fabric grows with you because of those gathered side seams. I've made 7 of these tops during my pregnancy and I've worn them all so much. I've made 3 of the long sleeve version, 4 of the short sleeve version, and they've just been so useful. I've made them all in cotton jerseys. They're super easy to sew up and they're just perfect. It's a perfect top pattern really if you are pregnant. I would highly recommend it. So there we have it. That is my top 5 most worn garments during pregnancy. There were a couple more that I could have added in, but I wanted to just keep it to a nice neat 5. You may be watching this video thinking, I'm not pregnant, I'm not going to be pregnant anytime soon or ever. Are these garments suitable for me, or is this relevant for me? And I think it is, because these are all just amazing patterns anyway that I would recommend to anyone. It doesn't need to be for pregnancy. What I would say about all of them is they all have that comfort factor. So if you like to wear things that look stylish, look great, but also are really comfortable to wear, all of the patterns I've mentioned tick those boxes. I've also had messages from people, you know, on Instagram or on YouTube saying that they'd like to make something for their family member or friend who is pregnant. What would I suggest? Again, all of these absolutely perfect. So I hope you've enjoyed hearing about all of those garments and seeing some of the photos of the things that I've made. I'd love to hear from you down below if you've made any of these garments and what your thoughts are. And thank you so much for watching my video. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and I will see you again very soon. Happy sewing. Bye.